virtual story time by the El Paso Municipal Court on traffic safety. My name is Elisa and I work at the El Paso Municipal Court. Today we will be reading Don't Monkey Around with Safety on Your Bicycle, written by Don Fielder and illustrated by Nathan Jensen. Marigold had one wish for her birthday. More than anything, she wanted a new bike. Her old bike was too small for her, and her knees bumped into the handlebars. Besides, her old bike was covered with princess stickers and glitter. She was ready for a new, more grown-up bicycle. At her birthday party, there was no bicycle in sight. There were all sorts of presents, but Marigold wished for a bike when she blew out her candles. Her mom and dad wore big smiles as they gave her a birthday card. Inside the card was a gift certificate for a new bicycle. Marigold gave her parents a big hug and said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The next day, Dad took Marigold to the store to pick out a new bike. She got to sit on the bikes to make sure to find the right size. Marigold liked trying out the different types of bikes and seeing the different colors. She thought about a sleek yellow bike, but also looked at one decorated with black and white checks. She chose a shiny red bike with streamers on the handlebars and a white wicker basket. Before they left the store, Dad had Marigold pick out a helmet. The man at the store helped Marigold find a helmet that fit just right. He buckled the chin straps and made sure the helmet didn't wiggle too much. He smiled at Marigold and said, "Be sure to wear your helmet because it protects your brain. It keeps your brain protected." So when selecting a helmet, measure around your head about 2 fingers above the eyebrows. Select a helmet with a size range that includes your head size. The helmet should be worn straight and level, resting straight on top of the head, low on the forehead, just above the eyebrows with the rim level from front to back. There should be a 2-finger gap between the chin strap and your chin. They're measuring the helmet and her picking out her bicycle. Her dad stowed Marigold's bike in the back of the van and they drove home. As they drove home, Dad talked to Marigold about her bike. He said, "Mom and I want you to be able to ride your bike to school this year. However, you have to follow the rules. Mom and I want you to wear your helmet. We also want you to follow all of the rules of the road you have learned from us and at school." Marigold promised to follow the rules. She was excited to get to ride her bike to school. Marigold began thinking about the rules as well as which outfit she was going to wear her first day to ride to school. Number 1, obey all traffic signs and signals. Number 2, always wear your helmet. Number 3, ride near the curb and go in the same direction as traffic. Number 4, use crosswalks and bike lanes. Number 5, be careful around parked cars. Number 6, use hand and arm signals. Number 7, keep your hands on the handlebars except when signaling. Number 8, have a white light in front and a red light or reflector in the back. Marigold chose her yellow jacket to wear instead of her black windbreaker so that she would be easy to see. She also tied her shoelaces in double knots so her shoes would stay tied. These are the signs on the road that you have to look out for. This is the hand signals and how you're supposed to hold the handlebars on your bike and her tying her shoes. In the driveway, Marigold practiced her hand signals. Then she strapped on her backpack, snapped on her helmet, and off she went. It was a perfect morning for biking. There was a light breeze and the sunshine was warm on her face. By her house, there wasn't a bike lane, so Marigold rode on the right side of the road just like a car for 2 blocks. When she reached the bike lane, she rode it in all the way to her school. She was careful to watch for debris both in the bike lane and near the curb. She stopped at the stop sign and looked both ways. She even walked her bike across the crosswalk. What a success! Marigold walked to the bike rack with her head held up high. She crossed it very safely. Many students were putting up their bikes. Marigold was careful not to bump her bike against any of the others. She used her bike lock and then tucked her helmet into her backpack. She saw Marco and Molly standing at the end of the bike rack. They were a year ahead of her in school, but they lived in her neighborhood. Hey, Marigold. Nice bike. Want to ride home with us? Molly asked with a smile. Marigold grinned from ear to ear. It felt great to be included. She agreed to meet the two of them after school at the bike rack. During the class, the teacher asked Marigold to write about a great day. She decided to write her narrative about the day she got her new bike. She made sure to tell her story in order and to elaborate on what happened. She even used transition words in her writing, just like the teacher wanted. Marigold caught herself watching the clock. She was counting down the minutes to dismissal. She couldn't wait to ride her bike home. At the end of her math assignment, she had to write a word problem with a partner. She constructed a word problem about different distances in a bicycle race from Waco to Austin. She even got to go online to find the distances on the different legs of the race. That's her thinking of her story and the distances for the race. Finally, it was dismissal. One of the teachers escorted the walkers and bike riders out to the front of the school. Marigold snapped on her helmet and unlocked her bike. She put her lock in the basket and met Marco and Molly at the corner. Marigold noticed that neither one of them had on a helmet. For just a second, she thought about taking her helmet off so her pigtails could blow in the wind, but she remembered her promise to Dad. Marco, Marigold, and Molly walked their bikes across the crosswalk. Marigold gave the crossing guard a high five when she was safely on the sidewalk. But remember to always wear your helmet. The trio rode in a single file line. Marco led the way. He stopped when they got to their neighborhood. There was a small playground at the entrance to the neighborhood. Because Marigold didn't have much homework, she parked her bike, took off her helmet, and texted her mom to tell her they had stopped at the park. Mom texted back to have fun and be home by 4:30. Marco, Molly, and Marigold took turns on the swings. They raced to see who could go down the slide first, and they played chase. Marigold was having a blast. However, Molly was getting bored. Hey Marigold, let's do some tricks. Why don't you ride on the handlebars of my bicycle? It is really fun, Molly said. Marigold thought about it for a minute and said, I don't think I should. Her voice trailed off nervously. She didn't think it was a good idea, but she really wanted Molly and Marco to like her. Are you too scared? Molly asked teasingly. Marigold felt embarrassed. Her cheeks get red with embarrassment. Marco frowned at Molly. You're making her feel bad. Knock it off. Marigold took a deep breath. I promised my dad that I would follow all the safety rules I know about bicycles, and that really isn't safe. I don't want to lose the privilege of riding my bike to school, Marigold said. Marco nodded. I know how that goes. If I don't follow my mom's rules about my phone, I don't get to use it. Besides, Molly, I bet we can have more fun on the playground. What game do you want to play, Marigold? Marigold sighed with relief. Then she suggested freeze tag. They agreed upon the rules, and Molly offered to be it first. Marigold got a good head start, running to hide behind the slide. Marco ran for the swings. They played until it was time to head home. Marigold snapped on her helmet and Molly stopped her before she got on her bike. I saw you doing some hand signals to show when you were stopping and turning. Can you teach me? Molly asked. Marigold showed Molly and Marco the hand signals. This is when you're turning right, when you're turning left, and when you're stopping. On the way home, Marco and Molly had Marigold take the lead so that they could copy her hand signals. They rode their bikes in the bike lane all the way to Marigold Street. Meet you in the morning, Marigold, Molly hollered. Marco high-fived Marigold and then headed down his streets. Marigold parked her bike inside the garage and then headed into the house. Her mom was cooking dinner and her brother Milton was playing with his toy cars on the kitchen floor. How was the park? Mom asked. Marigold smiled as she sat down on the floor to play with Milton. It was fun. We monkeyed around at the park, but not on our bikes, she announced proudly. Tomorrow, I am going to remind Marco and Molly to wear their helmets. The end. We hope you enjoyed today's reading and will be careful when you are riding your bicycle. Always remember what you learned today. Like, wear your helmets, always wear bright protective clothing. Remember to use your hand signals when you're gonna turn, stop, as well as watch for the traffic signs on the road. I hope you will join us next week for our virtual story time on traffic safety. We want to send a special thank you to the Texas Department of Transportation and the Texas Municipal Courts Education Center.